This is going to be the first video of the review for the geometry test, which is going to be covering composite figures, circles and semicircles, surface area and volume of prisms as well as pyramids, and then also the surface area of a composite solid. So this is the first video. We're going to look at perimeter and area of a composite figure. So you see a figure here, and it's divided into three separate shapes. We have three rectangles, and we have to figure out, we're going to start with area first. So I want to find the area of the three shapes. If your composite figure is made of different shapes, you want to first identify the shapes that you are familiar with that are basically fused together to make this one composite figure. So this particular example already has my three rectangles identified for me. So I'm going to start by going through with you finding the area of each of my three rectangles. So to start with, if I'm going to look at this one here, I know that my height of this rectangle is 3.5 meters, but I do not know what the base of that rectangle is. So I have to use the other information on my composite figure to figure that out. I know that from here to here, this red line is 12.75 meters long. I also know that my two black lines will be equal to one another. And I know that from this point to this point will be 3.5 meters. So I will take my red, the entire distance across, which is my 12.75, and I'm going to subtract out this blue part. And that's going to give me 9.25. So I know my two black lines are 9.25 together. I want to find out what just this one is. So I'm going to divide it by 2, which is going to tell me that each of my black lines here will be 4.625 meters. Just to make sure that I did that math right, I'm going to add my 4.625 plus my 3.5 plus my 4.625 to make sure that I get 12.75. So I did get 12.75, so I know I did that correctly. So here we go. I have my base and my height. So 3.5 times 4.625 is going to give me an area of 16.1875 meters squared. My dimensions of this rectangle on the side are going to be exactly the same as the one I just did, because this one is also 3.5 by 4.625. So I'm also going to get 16.1875 meters squared. And now I would need to find the area of this tall, skinny rectangle. I know that my base is going to be 3.5. I also know that all the way up would be my height. If from this point to this point is 10.9, and here to here is 3.5, I know that my entire height will be the 10.9 plus the 3.5. So my entire height will be 14.4. So when I find the area, I'll do my 14.4 times 3.5 to get a total of 50.4 meters squared. And then to find the area of my entire composite figure, I want to add up my three rectangles, the areas that I found for them, to find the area of my entire composite figure. So I have 16.1875 plus 16.1875 plus the area of my center rectangle, which is 50.4. So my entire area of my composite figure would be 82.775 meters squared. That would be my area. It is not surface area because it's a two-dimensional figure. It's still called area because it's flat. to look at this again, just pause it. I'm going to go on and go over perimeter. So perimeter of a figure would be essentially, like I tell my students, would be essentially like I'm trying to fence this. So if I lived in Geneva or Timbuktu or somewhere, and I had this odd-shaped piece of property that I'm putting horses on and I need to fence it, I would need to know how much fence to buy. I'm not going to go to Lowe's and just buy a random amount of fence because I'm going to waste my money. So I want to find how far around the perimeter would be the distance around my horse pasture, what I would need to fence, which is what you would see in the blue. So all I need to do is determine my side lengths of the outside of my composite figure, which is where my blue lines are. I know that if this side over here is 10.9, this side over here would also be 10.9. I know that if here is 3.5 because that side would be 3.5. And then just like we did when I found the area, I shouldn't have erased it. I know that all the way across is 12.75, and I know that this little space is the 3.5. So I know these two together equal 9.25. So I'm going to divide that in half, which is going to give me 4.625 again. I want to just verify that I've identified all of the sides of my composite figure before I add them up. So I do have my lengths of all of my sides. So this would be the amount of fence I would need to cover. I didn't include these lines inside of here because I'm only fencing the perimeter of my horse pasture or the perimeter of my composite figure. I'm not fencing inside. So I would have 12.75 plus 3.5 plus 4.625 plus 10.9 plus 3.5 plus 10.9 plus 4.625 plus 3.5. So you should get 54.3 meters as your perimeter. I'm just going to check that one more time. So, okay, so 54.3 would be your perimeter, the distance around my composite figure. So again, area would be the amount of space inside, perimeter amount of space outside. Hopefully this helps you. You do have 2 questions for composite figures, finding the area and the perimeter on your test, and it's also part of your standard, the geometry standard for this topic for math. So you will see it again on future tests like your quarter exam and FSA. And I think that's it. Hopefully it helps. If not, let me know.